This lecture is about biographies in children's literature by Dr. So-mi Cham. The word biography is a self-explanatory term, as bio means life and graph means something that is written. Biography deals with the lives of real people, which is not limited to the dead and gone. It can be about heroes and everyday people of all ages, ethnicities, and nationalities. While biographies use a narrative style writing than expository, still it is a type of nonfiction, which requires reliable sources and documentation for verifiability. However, there can be a personal narrative with an individual's own slightly fictionalized story, which is still considered a biography rather than a historical fiction. There are diverse personalities in biographies. Famous people like scientists and inventors, political leaders, artists, musicians, actors, authors, and others in the arts, sports heroes, explorers, and adventurers are frequently observed personalities among biographies. People who have overcome barriers are another typical personality in biographies. For example, people with disabilities who change the world often become subjects of biographies. Louis Braille, who invented the Braille alphabet for blind people, became the subject of multiple books, such as Six Dots by Jen Bryant and Out of Darkness by Russell Friedman. A trend in biographies for children is to include some of today's ordinary people. These subjects are quite relatable for today's children. At the same time, their lifestyles, occupations, or experiences make them appealing and inspiring. For example, Vision of Beauty, the story of Sarah Breedlove Walker by Lasky, is a book about a poor African-American woman who made a fortune creating beauty and hair care products for African Americans. Some other ordinary people who lived adventurous lives also are subjects of today's biographies. For instance, Uncommon Traveler, Mary Kingsley in Africa by Brown is the biography of a self-educated 19th century English woman who traveled alone through West Africa to learn about its people. While many biographies feature people who have positively changed the world, there are some biographies with the opposite characters who have negatively changed the world. The Life and Death of Adolf Hitler by Giblin is an example. There are different types of biographies, as you can see on this slide. Contemporary biographies use more inclusive views of American life without dealing exclusively with famous personalities. Partial biographies write about a selected segment of a person's life. Explorers' biographies feature social and political activists, artists, and authors. Autobiographies and memoirs describe the author's own lives. Authors can be ordinary or famous people. This type offers children an insider's perspective. Biography in verse tells a subject's life through verse. Before She Was Harriet, written by Lisa Klein Ransom, features a small slave girl named Araminta. She longed for the day she could leave behind slavery along with her name and pick a new one, Harriet. The text of this book is a free verse poem. Collective biographies contain a number of short biographical pieces about subjects with a commonality, something like lives of the presidents, lives of the musicians, lives of the athletes, lives of the explorers, which are all written by Kathleen Kroll. #Own Voices is created by Corinne Davis in 2015 to express the need for authors to share the same marginalized status or identity with the protagonist in terms of disability status, race, religion, sexual orientation, and others. You can see people use this hashtag in Twitter and other social media to discuss multicultural children's literature. This movement is in the same vein of encouraging children's literature authors with diverse backgrounds. There are some outstanding examples of books by authors that share the same racial identities with the protagonists. Game Changers, The Story of Venus and Serena Williams is written by Lisa Klein Ransom, who shares the African American identity with these famous tennis players. Shining Star, the Anna Mae Wong story, is written by Paula Yu, who shares the Asian American identity with Anna Mae Wong. The author of Chester Nez and The Unbreakable Code, a Navajo Code Talker story, is written by a Native American author, Joseph Burchard. Danza Amalia Hernandez and El Abalet Folclórico de México is written by a Mexican-American author, Duncan Donatio. Biographies should conform to the standards of good writing. Facts are not enough, as they can be obtained from other forms of literature such as encyclopedia and information books. Biographies that use a narrative form of writing must engage young readers with fresh prose and fascinating perspectives. It also has to be able to bring the subjects to life. Use the questions on this slide as evaluation criteria for biographies for children. See if the biography accurate and authentic. See if the subject of the biography is interesting for children. See if the subject is presented as a real human being. Heroics and blemishes of the subject need to be balanced. See if the author's writing engages readers so they are eager to keep reading. See if the illustrations help the reader understand the social context in which the subject lived. Thank you very much for watching this lecture video. I hope it was helpful for you.